Hey, what is going on, guys? DK. Back at you with another video here explaining the 4-game NBA preseason slate on Tuesday. Before I get into the video, if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. My name is DK. I make daily videos and live stream for NBA and NFL slates on Draftkings. If you're unable to watch these YouTube videos, I also upload on Apple Podcast. Link in the description below. It's called the DKDFS Show. If you're interested in signing up for premium content, now is the perfect time, beginning of the month. NBA package, we're covering every single preseason slate. NFL package, we go over all the shown slates as well as the main slate. So here are, let's go over a couple of winners. First, let me show you guys a couple of winners from last year and then from the past couple days already. So this is from last preseason, just a few screenshots here. So this was Duke, who took down the big tournament, won over 12,000. Don took down, what is that, $18,000. We had $3.75 into 600. And takedown in the FanDuel GBP, again, this is last year, $5,000 in winnings there. A couple more too. I got to shout out my boy Gabe. He had a big win. This was a 25-cent entry, first place out of 14,000 people. THT, we know, one of the preseason GOATs. We were playing basically every single slate last year. Big winner there. Another big winner here was like $5 into 230 or whatever that is. And then another like 8-9x day. So that was just from last year. Now there's a lot more, but those were some of the main ones. And here are a couple of the ones already from the past day or two. So this is in one of the show-on sites. Took it down, told me to get a coffee. I'm going to need coffee. I'm going to need a lot of coffee over the next couple of weeks of preseason. But yeah, congrats on taking down the show-on site first and third. And then again, this was Mr. Wilson on Sunday, first preseason slate. He took down the big one. $11 in entries, probably was like 2,500 in winnings. So that's just from the last couple days. And then obviously what I showed was from last year. And then I do want to thank today's sponsor, PrizePicks. And PrizePicks is covering NBA preseason. Now, they don't have the contest posted yet. I'm guessing that'll be posted sometime early tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. They have some future stuff here. There's two different ways you can play for NBA, at least. First way is you take over-under on fantasy points, and the second way is you take over-under on like single stats like points, rebounds, assists, three-pointers made. Again, expect preseason contest to be posted probably early tomorrow, maybe even later tonight. We'll see. But yeah, if you guys want to try it out and sign up, use my code DKDFS. DKDFS, all one word. Link down below. You get a 100% match up to $100. So you deposit using my code, you get a free $100. And finally, I want to thank you guys again for your continued support. Let me just check. Is it still 9.9K or are we at 10,000 subs now? Let's see. I think it's still 9.99. Oh, I think it just hit 10K. So I think that literally just happened. 10,000 subscribers, guys. Thank you so much. It's been a long ride. Started my channel in 2018 for the NBA preseason. And yeah, now 3 years I've been making videos and live streaming every single day. So for all you guys that recently came along, for all of you OGs, just thank you guys again for all of support. If you guys could, leave a like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't upload videos and go live. Let's try to aim for 100 likes on this video if you guys do enjoy this content. Okay, so let's, I guess, real quick before we get into the player-by-player breakdown, let's quickly look at how I did tonight. So tonight went pretty solid with NBA as well as NFL. So, yeah, it was a profitable night in the show-on slate, profitable night in the big tournaments. Even played some head-to-heads for people that were willing to take my contest. But let's just take a look at my lineup here really quick. So, I went with Maxey, NAW, Barnes, Precious Achiuwa, Andre Drummond, Trae Young. Injuries suck, man. I was so tilted about that. I was tilted about a couple of things, Tatum and then campaign. So, as you guys know on this channel, we do tilt a little bit. So if you guys don't like that, just fast forward a couple of minutes. But I always recap the slate. So Maxey was popular in the this is the big tournament. He's 50%. In the higher stakes, he was like 75 to 80%. He had an off game. He played a lot of minutes, just didn't do a whole ton with them. Now he is a pretty solid point per guy. So like I'm fine going back to Maxey in the same situation. I just think he had an off game. Drummond absolutely smashed. Only 50% owned. I was a little bit surprised that half the field faded Andre Drummond there. He was a must. I went with both Toronto guys and Scotty Barnes and Precious Achiuwa. I had to tilt some foul trouble on Twitter. Scotty Barnes picked up 3 quick fouls in the first quarter, or in the first half. He missed some time. And then you guys know the preseason GOAT. The preseason GOAT here, only 11% owned NAW. 11%. He also got in severe foul trouble too. Picked up like 3 fouls in the first 5 minutes, and he lost a good amount of minutes. So imagine if NAW does get in foul trouble, right? And then, yeah, Trae Young injury sucks. If Trae Young doesn't get injured, I already had a good night. It would have been a massive night, and that's just something obviously you can't predict. Tatum, I made a post once we got that news that on Patreon that the Boston guys were going to play around 24 minutes. Really boosted the upside there for Tatum and Brown. They're 2 of the safer plays on the board. And then Campaign kind of 0 of 9 start shooting the ball. Campaign 0 of 9. He made 1 basket and still got 23 fancy points. I actually pivoted. I made a late pivot from Fox to Payne. Now, if you played Fox, you also got unlucky. Fox shot like 3 of 15 or something awful. Like, neither of those guys could hit a shot. It was so frustrating. But the reason I pivoted from Fox to Payne and just ate the salary was because we got news that Booker's out and CP3 is out, and then Ayton was going to be limited. So, Campaign was going to dominate the usage. That's why I made that pivot. Ended up working out. He slightly outscored Fox, but man, imagine if he just has a decent shooting game. Probably goes for 30 plus easily. So, a few things to tilt about there, but overall, it was a really solid night. Seeing a lot of winners in the Discord and hoping to keep it going. Again, preseason treated us great last year. It's off to a really good start as well this year. So that's it for the look back, guys. All right, so now let's talk about this slate. And we'll start off with the Indiana Pacers. And what we know is LeVert, TJ Warren, Edmund Sumner all out. So first, let's take a look. I know a couple teams have different coaches, but just get a good idea of what the starters played in the first preseason game last year. So last year for the Pacers, actually the starters got some decent runs. Sabonis 26 minutes, Miles Turner 27. Doug McDermott played 28 off the bench. So starters did get some decent run. Sabonis at 9-3. You guys know this is a very pro Sabonis channel. He is probably my biggest boy. Absolutely love Sabonis. Phenomenal point per minute guy. Now, the one thing I'll say about Sabonis is Miles Turner is back. Like, Sabonis definitely does a little bit better when he plays the 5 as opposed to 4. But either way, if we're going to get around mid-20s minutes from Sabonis, I think he's one of the safer spin-ups on the board. Now, this is not guaranteed. We're probably going to get more news on this tomorrow. And if you guys are signed up for the Patreon, I post updates whenever we get starters or any news. So that'll be something just to monitor there. And then, Miles Turner, 5.8K is fine. A guy that can block some shots. But, obviously would prefer to get to Sabonis if you do have the salary there. Brogdon at 6'9", I think, is a decent price point here. Again, if the starters do get like mid-20s minutes, I think this is a little bit too cheap. Brogdon does have some upside. I think he's a very underrated player right now in this league. So, like the main guys here for the Pacers being Sabonis, Brogdon, Miles Turner. As far as some cheaper options, I do want to mention Chris Duarte. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. So rookie that is, he was a solid point per minute guy in the summer league. He's a guy that can stuff a stat sheet, and I would assume they want to give him some decent minutes here. So do have some interest there at that price. Isaiah Jackson, another rookie, didn't get a lot of run in the summer league, but when he was out there, another good point per minute guy. So those 2 rookies, I think, are viable, cheaper options. Probably not going to get to anyone else though on the Pacers. All right, let's move on to the Knicks. So the Knicks, this is preseason gold with Tom Thibodeau. He just runs the starters into the ground no matter what. So last preseason, first game, starters got big minutes. RJ Barrett, 29. Randall, 29. Noel, 25. Alfred Payton, 27. A few other guys played around 20 minutes. Run a tight rotation. So I think we can expect some pretty big minutes here for the starters. And with that being said, I think Julius Randle is a very safe play. Right? We know he is their go-to guy on this offense. He's a guy, a great rebounder, will get some assists, obviously can score the ball, can block some shots. I think Randall is a very, very safe play. RJ Barrett at 8.5. feels a little bit pricey for me. I think if I was going to prioritize one of these two Knicks guys, probably would be Randall. Now, Kemba Walker at 7-7, we know he's dealt with some injuries, but again, this is Tom Thibodeau, so I assume if he starts, he probably gets mid to high 20s minutes, which does make him certainly in play here. Fournier at 6-7, it's all right. I think I would rather go to Walker over Fournier. I just think Walker's a little bit more upside. Valdoza got waived, and then you have some younger guys. D Rose off the bench, kind of just a neutral play there. And then again, you have a few rookies here: Grimes, McBride. I think these guys could get some solid run off the bench. The issue is, again, though, Thibodeau does really like playing the starters a lot, so we'll see what they do with the starting lineup. But those two, a little bit of interest in them. And then, I think Obi Toppin also gets some solid run here too. Now, couple pieces of news to go over here. Mitchell Robinson is out. So we'll see what they do. Do they start Randall at the 5? Do they start a guy like Nerlens Noel? We'll see what the Knicks end up starting the 5. Whoever starts there, Jericho Sims too, who almost fouled out in a Summer League game. There's 10 fouls in the Summer League, and I was sweating a Summer League game where he had 9 fouls going into the fourth quarter. We'll see who ends up starting there at the 5 for the Knicks, but really a lot of the main interest in the starters, a little bit of interest in some of those younger guys. All right, let's move on to Cleveland and Chicago. So first, let's take a look at this Cleveland, how Cleveland distributed the minutes last preseason. So the veterans only played a little bit. Drummond and Love last year only played 14. Some of the younger guys played more. You had Okoro played 33, Garland played 22, Osman played 22. This is just a weird roster. There's just so many bigs, a lot of guards, not many wings. I just don't really know what to make of this roster in general. I don't think Cleveland's going to be good this year, but so let's talk about a couple things. So Jarrett Allen was held out of practice a few days ago. We'll see if he's going to be available. And then Isaac Okoro also missed practice again. That was a couple days ago, though, so we'll see if they're going to be available. As far as the main spend-ups, guys like Sexton versus Garland, I think I would lean Garland over Sexton. Garland probably going to handle more of the point guard. Obviously, a little bit more of floor of the assist. So if I'm going to go to one of the Cleveland guards, probably lean to Garland there. And then going down a little bit more, I think Evan Mobley probably gets a decent amount of run. He was okay in the Summer League. Wasn't great, wasn't terrible, but a guy that can put up a decent amount of fancy points in a short amount of time. And they have a lot of veterans in this roster. I don't think Kevin Love's going to play much, if at all. Jarrett Allen, we'll see. So I think Mobley is a guy that could get some solid run here. He is someone that I'm interested in. Let's see. What else? That's probably it. Cleveland's a team I don't love on the slate tomorrow. But those are probably the two guys I like the most, being Garland and Mobley. Let's move on to Chicago. So taking a look at the minutes here for Chicago, pretty solid, right? Some of the main starters, 25, 23, 23, 26. Otto and Wendell Jr. last year only played 19. So I think we expect low to mid-20s minutes for the Chicago Bulls. Pricing is way up, though, on these guys. DeRozan, Levine, Vooch, Lonzo, all very, very pricey. Safety-wise, Lonzo's going to handle the ball, so he has a relatively high floor because of the assist. I would assume we get, again, low to mid-20s minutes. Vucevic, another guy I think has a little bit of a higher floor too because the rebounds obviously can get some putbacks too. So those two probably the safest options. I don't love the 9.6 price into DeRozan. I think Levine's a guy that does have some upside, but maybe a little bit lower floor now with Lonzo being the priority ball handler. Kobe White is out for Chicago. He'll be out for probably another month or so. Scrolling down a little bit more to some cheaper options. Caruso, I think, gets some decent run as the backup point guard. We know he was solid for the Lakers last year. A little bit of interest there. The rookie, Samancic, didn't get a ton of run in the Summer League, but was productive when he was out there. So, in about, I would think maybe about 15 minutes or so, I think he's viable. You also have the rookie, Ayo. Had a couple good games, had a couple bad games. So, really the starters, a couple rookies I'm interested in. But that's probably it for the Bulls. So let's move on to Washington and Houston. All right, Wizards. Last year, first preseason game, low to mid-20s minutes, which is pretty good for the preseason. Right, Denny 24, Rui 23, Thomas Bryant 22, Neto 25, Troy Brown 22. So start with Brad Beal at 9.7. If we're going to get about 25 minutes from Brad Beal, I do think he's one of the better spin-ups in the slate just because look at this Washington roster, right? There's no more Russell Westbrook, so like Beal's going to be the clear go-to guy. Definitely has some interest there if you can afford him. Dinwiddie at 6.6K, I would assume starts and probably plays similar minutes. So, he's been out for, the last year plus with that injury, but now he is back. So the top two guards, I think, are viable. And then the bigs, right? So let's take a look at Washington and the bigs. So we have Harrell and Gafford. Bryant is out. Not really interested in Huff or Eknike. So I would assume Harrell and Gafford get decent run. We know Scott Brooks always runs a rotation at the center position. But, again, Harrell and Gafford are two good point per minute guys. So I like both bigs here for Washington. And then I think Kuzma's fine too. Like this Washington team's not going to be great, so you're going to see probably a good amount of minutes for Kuzma. So really the main guys, Beal, Dinwiddie, Kuzma, the bigs. KCP probably pass on again. Rui not expected to play. Value for Washington, right? There's just not a lot I really feel good about here. Not much that I love for Washington value. All right, let's move on to Houston. So this is going to be an exciting team to watch. They're not going to be great, but they're a fun young team. So let's take a look at minutes last preseason in the first game. They really spread out the minutes. You had Bruno Caboclo played the most at 26 minutes, but I think they played like 15 guys, and not many played over 20. So not a great sign. Now, what we know, again, John Wall is not going to be playing for this team because they want to go young. Christian Wood at 8.9K. He is a good point per minute guy. They said they might play him at the 4 a little bit more this year. So I think he's all right, but a little bit pricey. Garuba feels too pricey. Rookie. I'll probably pass there. But there are some guys I think are underpriced. So KPJ is going to be the starting point guard this year. We know KPJ when given minutes is a good point per guy, right? He put up some big games. He put up 78 there against Milwaukee, right? So he's a guy that can stuff the stat sheet. Again, this is going to be a young team. So I like Kevin Porter Jr. I like rookie Jalen Green at 5'4". He had a pretty solid summer league, and this is a guy that is going to shoot the ball a good amount. And then Josh Christopher too. So young guards here, KPJ, Green, Christopher, I think all look pretty good in this slate. And then Daniel Tice, probably expected to start at the 5. I think he's all right, but I think I prefer, if we scroll down a little bit more, rookie Sengun. Again, you guys played Summer League DFS. This guy was a monster, an absolute monster. I think they know what they have in Daniel Tice. They know what they have in Christian Wood. I think Sengun's a guy that could get some decent run here, and he's cheap, really good point per minute guy. I like Sengun a lot at that price. All right, let's move on to Milwaukee and Memphis. So Milwaukee Bucks last preseason gave their starters a decent run. Giannis and Middleton played 25 each, DiVincenzo 23. But what we know here is we do have some guys out, right? Giannis is out, Middleton is out, DiVincenzo is out, Portis is out, Semi is out, Rodney Hood's out. So they're actually a little bit thin. So starting with Jrue Holiday at 7-1, if he gets close to 25 minutes, I actually do think he's a pretty solid play kind of in the upper mid tier because he's the guy that's probably going to dominate the usage. We know he's a stat stuffer, and missing Giannis and Middleton, I think Jrue Holiday looks like a pretty safe play. I'm not sure why Justin Jackson is 5.6K. That makes not much sense. But going to the center position, so Brook Lopez probably starts again. If he plays around 20 minutes, that's fine. We also have rookie S-Mam. Again, I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name; just way too hard. But he was a decent point per minute guy in the summer league, and I expect him to get some solid run too. So the two centers are fine. Probably expect a little bit more minutes for S-Mam, and then we'll see what they do with the starting lineup. I'm curious. I think Jordan Nwora is a guy that could get some good run here. Young guy that is not afraid to shoot the ball. We know that, again, from the Summer League. He had a couple big games, also a couple pretty bad games. But, again, he is going to shoot the ball when he's out there. So I like that. I think Nwora is solid value. And then, I'm curious to see what they do with the starting lineup because they do have some veterans. So that'll be a situation to monitor going into tomorrow for Milwaukee. All right, let's finish it up with Memphis. So Memphis, last preseason, we had starters play low to mid-20s. Ja, I think, played the most at 25. So excited to watch Ja play again. He's 9.2K, definitely in play as one of the better spend ups for sure. If he gets about 25 minutes, we know Ja. He had a great postseason. So like Ja, the rookies feel a little bit too pricey here in Williams and Aldama, 7.2 and 6.2K respectively. Probably past there. Steven Adams, I'm probably not going to go to. Again, the price, like some of these guys are priced up. I like Xavier Tillman, but he's priced up at 6.2. It's all right. Again, we'll see. I'm curious to see what they do with a starting lineup. Memphis. Triple J is obviously a guy that can block some shots. And then if you go into some cheaper guys, I think Melton is a decent play off the bench. We know he's a guy that can really put up fancy points in a short amount of time. And then Brandon Clark, too, another guy that when given minutes, he's a guy that can put up fancy points, too. So those are probably the two cheaper options to look to for Memphis. Oh, and Desmond Bane. Desmond Bane, they hit him all the way down here at 4.3K. He had a great summer league. Would expect him to get some decent minutes, too. So I like the price there on Desmond Bane. A little bit annoying that he's only point guard eligible because point guard and center usually loaded positions. But yeah, I like Bane there at 4.3K. All right, guys, so that is going to do it for the video today. If you have been enjoying the content so far, I would really appreciate it. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't upload videos and go live. Thanks again, guys. Have a great night, and I will see you all in the next video.